My name's Tony Fetters. I'm 56 years old. I was a SWAT sniper for about 8 years. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the $10,000 when I win it, but I'm sure the wife's going to let me know.
In your first round of competition today, you'll be using these. These are .50 caliber flintlock, single shot, black powder, trapper pistols that you will use to forge signature blades in your signature style. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 10-minute design window starts now.
For this challenge, I'm designing a drop point hunter. It tends to be a little more balanced in the hand. It's just a very comfortable knife to use. I started out as a United States Marine, got out of the Marine Corps, didn't want to have a boss, so I became a farrier. Got tired of bending over for a living, so I became a police officer and getting ready to retire, and I'll be full-time as a bladesmith. This is going to be an interesting challenge.
Looks like Tony might be cutting the back end off that barrel, cutting the breech off.
I don't know exactly what kind of metal the barrel is, but I know it's going to be a lower carbon steel being black powder. You're just not running with the pressures that you are with a higher caliber modern day firearm. The first thing you got to do is get the thing down into billet form. I'm going to collapse the tube down on itself, make 2 layers out of it, and I'm going to forge weld this. I'm going to be doing multiple layers on this because I'm afraid I'm going to get an inclusion when I close up the barrel with the rifling. So the more I fold this, it's hopefully going to be getting rid of the possibility of some inclusions. My strategy today is take my time. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I'm going to do well in this competition because I forge my blades. I work the metal hot.
Wow. Tony going for another fold. This is his 5th fold?
Yeah, I think so.
I believe I got 64 layers out of it. Everything's starting to unfold the way I imagined it. I'm comfortable with what's going on right now. I'm not freaking out on this at all. I'm way out in front of everybody. The hardest part is getting the heat treat right. That can be challenging when you're not dealing with a metal that you know.
Boom. There we go. Tony just quenched.
It's not hard. No. Gotta get it harder. Okay. Strike 1.
And Tony's back in the quench.
Oh, yeah. It's still not hard. If I don't get the proper heat treat on this blade, I'm out.
That was a really hot quench.
Finally. I am a little frustrated, but right now as hard as I can get.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This round is over. Bladesmiths, I know it was interesting to take perfectly good weapons and turn them into new weapons. Now it's time for the judges to take a closer look at all of your work. Tony, you're up first.
Your work out there was textbook work, from your use and control of Big Blue all the way to normalizing and preparing your blade. Masterful. That's a beautiful blade right there, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations, bladesmiths. You made it to the second round of this competition. Now that your blades have been tempered, it's time to turn them into fully functional weapons by attaching handles to them. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 3 hour starts now.
I'm making my handle out of walnut. It's a coarse grain. You don't have to grip it as tight as if you have something that's got a real smooth grain. It actually makes the knife safer. I got a lot of people rooting for me back home. All the guys on the SWAT team, my family, my friends, even people I've arrested. I end up with a captive audience, right?
3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This round is over.
Bladesmiths, this is the strength test. To test the strength and durability of your blades, I'm going to be taking each of your knives and chopping into these buttstocks 10 times. Remember, in this test, it's not what your knife does to the buttstock that counts, it's what the buttstock does to your knives. Tony, you're up first. You ready?
Get her done. If there's gonna be a failure on my blade, it's gonna go at the chop test. But I'm not nervous because I've done all I can. There's nothing more to do.
Well, Tony, first thing, there's a little bit of deflection of the edge right here. But The rest of the blade held up pretty well. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, this is the sharpness test. I'll be slicing through these apples. What I'm looking for is a really clean cut where we're splitting apples as opposed to breaking them or just pushing them out of the way. And unlike the strength test, this test is all about what your knives do to the apples. Tony, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, so your edge is very sharp, even on the damage here where it deflected. I mean, you can see the apples. It went right through them, and even with that notch, cut beautifully. Well done, really well done.
Thank you.
Frank, Tony, congratulations. You've made it to the final round of this competition, which means that you're both one step closer to the title and 10 grand. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate an iconic weapon from history. The Sika sword. The Sika is a short but dangerous sword widely used by gladiators in ancient Rome. Since it was customary to fight with armor, the blade featured a sharp curve specifically designed to get around an opponent's shield. A gruesome killer, warriors would use its lethal inner edge to sever limbs, or the blade's deadly point to hook into the jaw and pierce through the head. Today, the Sika is often depicted in popular culture during graphic gladiator battles, most notably in the television series Spartacus, Blood and Sand. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 5 days.
Welcome to my forge in Scotts Mills, Oregon. I'm building a circa Thracian gladiator sword. It's gonna be 3 steel Damascus, 15 and 20, 1084 and 1095. Pretty simple, right? The biggest thing I gotta do is get my welds perfect, because if they are tight, my billet can fall into pieces. Bending a piece of steel can be difficult. It's a drastic bend, but I got this. The heat treat is what gives the blade life. Without a good heat treat, you just have a hunk of steel. Oh, wow. It's got a bow in it. I have to get this warp out fast. I was able to fix the warp for the handle. I used the mahogany wangi. Mahogany's a lighter material. Wangi's a really dark material, so they make a good contrast. And then I used brass as part of the blade guard and put the pieces together. I believe this sword will outperform Frank's, both aesthetically and functionally. I think it'll work.
Bladesmiths, this is a kill test. We'll take your Sika sword and deliver killing blows on this ballistics dummy. Tony, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have some fun. All right, Tony, this is a scary Sika sword. On the initial hack into the chest cavity, it penetrated so deep, it totally demolished this ballistics dummy. Overall, sir, your weapon will kill.
Gentlemen, this is the strength test. In order to test the strength and durability of your blades, I'm going to attack these shields. Remember, this test is all about what the shields do to your weapons and not what your weapons do to the shields. Tony, you're up next. Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, Tony, your edge held up perfectly as well. Razor sharp. I see no problem with the edge from the shield. In all, a nice solid blade. Well done.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
All right, gentlemen, now it's the sharpness test. I'll be cutting through this sugar cane. 1 cut with the front edge of your blade, 1 cut with the back edge. All right, Tony, you're up. You ready for this?
Yep.
So, Tony, is it sharp? Yes, it's very sharp, and it cut very nicely. It's still right, still tight. Well done.
Thank you.
Tony, congratulations. You are our new Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for 10 grand. Good job. How do you feel right now?
I feel pretty good.
All right, well, Tony, please present your weapon to the judges.
Just okay, I'm still here. It's not a dream. I won. It's awesome. How do you put it in words? Came, I saw, and I conquered.
My name is Devin Cornell. I've been a correctional officer for 17 years. The job is very intense, high-paced, so no matter what comes my way, it will overcome. There is no challenge that is too crazy. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Bladesmiths, welcome to Camp Forged in Fire. It's not like any camp you've ever been to before, and it's certainly a little different than the forge you were expecting. And just to make things a little bit more difficult, you'll be using these. Coal forges.
Coal forge. I've used a coal forge before, but not a hand crank one. It's going to be a challenge.
Looking around this camp, there's a lot of steel. Some of it's hardenable, some of it's not. What you'll need to do is collect at least 2 different types of steel to create a signature Sanmai blade by sandwiching saw steel around a hardenable steel core and edge. You will have 3 hours in which to forge your blades. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 3 hour starts now.
It's not a competition of forging, it's a competition of turning that blower.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the state of my coal fire, and I'm looking around. I see the fire ring is right behind me. It looks promising. It's a very large piece of steel. I grab pieces of rebar from the barbecue barrel. I take a slice from the fire ring steel. I sandwich the fire ring steel between the 4 bars of rebar for my Sanmai. It should be good.
This guy's a genius.
Yeah. Sanmai straight up.
I'm gonna try to do a traditional heavy bladed meat cleaver.
I'm having issues with getting my bar heated properly. Overheated the metal. And it just starts forming cracks. It's just spider webbing everywhere.
Do you think that Gordy's just having a hard time judging temperatures?
Yeah. I eventually decided to scrap it and start looking for other metal to use.
All right, come on, Gordy.
Oh, come on, Gordy.
Find another way. There's always a way to work around.
I find a big tent spike, and I'm gonna use that now. I figured I'd be able to get 2 inches width out of it and then be able to add my mild steel to it.
He's got to get that steel to relatively the same thickness as his outer portion so that they can heat up evenly. Is that correct?
Heat evenly, weld evenly.
Well, oh my gosh, there you go.
That's just pulling right apart. Hopefully he's not going to be burning it.
Doing all right?
I'm not having any luck at all.
It's hard to manage the heat, manage the flux, manage the piece, all at the same time.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. My welds are just not sticking. I'm racking my brain on what I'm gonna do.
There you go, man.
Everything's splitting, opening up.
This has got to be really frustrating for Gordy. He's got no welds at this point. Tough challenge.
The best I can do.
Woo. And I'm getting tired.
I normally like being outdoors. I like going camping. After this, I may never camp again.
You're happening, it's happening. As I'm working on this blade, I'm beginning to see it's a little bit light duty for the test. But you got to remember, you're not totally in control of what's going on here. This is not a science, it's an art. So sometimes you just have to go with what's happening, and this is what's happening. 80% of it is done, so we're looking good. If the welds are good, even a light blade, it should survive the antler chop.
Devin's doing an amazing job. That looks like a good weld to me, Jay.
It does.
I'm happy with my weld, but I look at the sides and I can see that the rebar is separated a little bit, but to me it looks like the Grand Canyon.
Not gonna break. Ugly, but it's gonna do the job.
I'm having issues with the heating. It's just problem after problem. I gotta figure out something because I'm wasting a lot of time here just pounding away on this. I ain't going nowhere with this. I'm gonna have to start over.
Oh, no. Gordy's starting over again.
Oh, my God.
When Trevor hits that metal, listen to it. It sounds like collect, 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 as opposed to ding, ding, ding. It's not forgeable.
If I have a bad weld on this knife, basically when he goes to chop into this antler, those sides are gonna pop off and it's gonna be a failure. My best bet is definitely going to be an edge quench. That way I have a limited risk of my sand mine blowing open and I still get a hard edge.
I wasn't in the oil very long.
Really? You still alive? Yeah, I got a straight blade. All right. But it's a soft edge, so I have to quench this thing again.
Bladesmiths, 5 minutes. 5 minutes remaining.
Get that ready for the heat treat. It's coming up.
Oh,
Devin
fire.
is really getting his fire cranked up. Now, he's forged that blade to shape. He's got a thinner edge than spine. Could he burn this steel up?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Devin didn't even look at the temperature.
I think he was trying. It looked red in the core of the blade.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was all the way through, though.
Mike also quenched right next to Devin.
Well, we'll see.
The blade came out straight, so it's good. I'm gonna go with it. But the devil is in the details, so I'm gonna clean up the blade as best I can.
Gordy's swinging that huge hammer.
Getting the heat up, but that's still a single piece of steel.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good. Trevor went in for a second quench just now.
Oh, popped welds. You can see them on the side of Trevor's blade. One of those welds has popped out and warped away.
These D-lams they're a big deal. I mean, this could definitely send me home. If I had more time, I would try to forge weld these delaminations shut, but I don't. I'm out of time. I'm gonna polish a turd.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, this round is over. Bladesmiths, that was a tough first round of competition. However, at the end of this round, you were to have a signature San Mai blade, quenched and hardened. Gordy, your blade is not quenched, it's not hardened, it's not a San Mai. You failed to meet the parameters. However, it's about heart, and you win out like any champion should, swinging, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
But Gordy, I have to ask you to please leave camp.
Heard. I didn't turn in anything close to what their parameters were. I worked my butt off. I did my best. It was overwhelming for me, but I wasn't gonna give up because that's not the person that I am. I am upset with myself, but I'm gonna keep making blades, and I'm going home with my head held high.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. I'm gonna take each of your blades. I'm gonna repeatedly and brutally beat them into this antler. I wanna see what the antler's gonna do to your blades. Devin, you're up first. You ready?
I'm ready, let's do it. I came here to test myself with an extreme challenge, and now it's up to the test to see if I met and exceeded those expectations.
Well, Devin, we got a little issue on the edge here. Didn't so much chip out, it more rolled. But it stayed straight, and those seams that you fixed stayed together. So good job there.
Thank you.
Mike, how you feeling?
Good.
Let's do this.
Okay.
I have my concerns about the testing. My blade is much lighter than the other two blades, but bigger's not always better.
Okay, Mike, your knife did survive.
but we got a few issues. You had a little bit of a warp before. Now it's a good bend in the blade. And your blade seams have opened up. So Trevor, you look excited.
I'm really critical of my blades. I always see every flaw, so I'm worried about catastrophic failure.
All right, Trevor, we've got an issue. You've got quite an extreme roll here. And you can see right in the middle here, in that roll, it started to split as well. You had an issue before with your sanmai not being connected all the way. You can hear it. It's opened up more, and there's a spot down here too. Your handle is on the large side, but I like the way you contoured it. My hand just kind of locks into place, but the edge is definitely an issue. Now it's time for the sharpness test. Doug?
Well, bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test. This is all about what the edge of your blade will do to these ham. Devin, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready, sir. Let's do it.
All right, Devin, the angle you have for this lends itself to be a very nice slicer and chopper. You have a very long handle here, so I have to choke up on that. But it does come to a curve so I can hold on to it. Overall, it will cut. All right, Mike, time for some Canadian bacon. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, Mike, your blade does not seem to have an edge on it. The important thing about knives is knives were made to cut. Unfortunately, Mike, your blade did not cut. All right, Trevor, it's time. Ready for this?
Yes, sir. The edge damage on my blade is pretty significant, so I'm worried my knife might not make the cut.
All right, Trevor, because you have a thinner blade here, it took a lot of damage on the strength test. But these parts right here are razor sharp. That kind of geometry is able to cut cleanly through the ham. Because your blade, sir, will cut.
Thank you.
Good job.
Bladesmiths, the judges have given me their final decision. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. Mike, your blade didn't make the cut.
First up, thank you for coming down and giving a great effort in what is one of our hardest challenges. Coal forge, sanmai, in the sun. All of the blades took damage in the strength test, but your blade can't cut. And for that reason, we have to send you home.
Please surrender your blade.
I got the boot. I concentrated on keeping a blunt edge so it would survive the bone chop, but I guess I kept it too blunt. I'm proud of the way I performed while I was here, so I'm going home without any regrets.
Trevor, Devin, welcome back to the forge. You've had 5 days at your home forges to work on your finale weapons. Trevor, how did it go?
It went pretty good. It was long days, a lot of hard work. It's a 115-layer Damascus, 3 steels. The guard is constructed out of steel I had left over from the blade.
Great. Devin, tell the judges about your blade.
Unfortunately, it's the second blade I made. The first one developed a lot of cracks. I use a 5160 single steel blade. It has a bronze guard, a brass clamshell. I feel great. This is awesome.
Well, gentlemen, your blades look beautiful, worthy of hanging on the walls. However, they still have to be tested. Up first, the kill test. Doug?
The sawback hunting sword. As the name implies, it's used for hunting, to hunt for the kill. I'm gonna take your weapon, deliver lethal blows on this ram carcass. Trevor, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
My heart is just pounding. And all I can think is, don't break. Don't break.
Yes. All right, Trevor. First up, the balance of this weapon is beautiful. It feels like it can move with it. It thrusts. It's sharp. And the first cut alone, it lacerated the carcass over there. The second one, the third one's pretty much just to finish it off. When I grab onto your handle, it feels comfortable. I can tell where the edge is. Now, there's one area right here where there's a little bit where the edge rolled because it would hit thick spine. But overall, your weapon, sir, will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Devin, it's your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Good luck.
Oh boy. I feel great. I feel really excited. I'm hoping that I can at least one-up him and get it in 3 strikes.
Well, Devin, first up, aside from the obvious, I must say that that's a beautiful handle.
Thank you.
It feels good in the hand, quality stuff. Your blade broke. Look at the grain structure. And your grain structure over here shows that it's rough. It looks like sands on the beach, so that's a heat treat issue. So I really appreciate that you brought us a beautiful sword, but it had critical failure, it broke.
Devin, I'm just gonna be direct. Your blade has suffered a catastrophic weapons failure and can't continue with testing. In other words, it doesn't make the cut, and I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
Thank you. I came in here looking for the hardest, craziest challenge I could get, and I think I got it. Winning would have been great. Second place on Forge and Fire, I'm happy with that too. It's been one hell of a ride.
My name is Brett South. I'm 40 years old, and I've been blacksmithing for about 5 years. I am a full-time police officer. I don't really use a whole lot of bladesmithing in my line of work, but I have made knives for everybody on my shift. It's a good break from my day job.
Welcome to the Forge. It's good to have you guys. Now guys, today in the Forge, we're gonna be paying tribute to some shadow warriors whose history is shrouded in a bit of mystery and legend. I'm talking about none other than the Ninja. Now, the Ninja is known in pop culture to be masters of the martial arts, be deadly warriors, and operate at a high level with an arsenal of weaponry. In this first round of competition, we want you to make a blade using these. Oh, wow. What we want you to do is make a blade using at least 2 of these weapons for your high carbon steel. We have throwing stars, we've got scythes, we have grappling hooks, and we've got the nunchuck. Now, when you're building your Ninja blades, we want you to build something a little bit like this. What we have here is a skeletonized Ninja blade. Now, we're not asking you to build exactly this. We want to see your version of the best Ninja weapon out there, but make sure it falls within these parameters. Your blade length, measured from tip to where the cutting edge ends in a straight line, must be between 12 and 14 inches. You need to be set up for a through or a hidden tank construction, and because a Ninja weapon needs to be lightweight, we want at least 6 inches of that blade to be skeletonized. To keep things interesting, we're gonna put a little bit of a twist on this first round. Ninjas need to be lightweight and fast. So, whichever one of you goes into the second round with the lightest blade will have an extra 20 minutes added on. All right, bladesmiths, you've got 3 hours on the clock, so good luck. Your time starts now.
As a kid, I was all into Ninja stuff. I had throwing stars, nunchucks, whatever you could think of, I had. So I'm going to take the grappling hook and make canister of Damascus from that, and then the size, draw them out flat, and then sandwich it together to make a sanmai. I'm choosing to make sanmai steel because I have to make a Japanese blade and it should be great for a ninja weapon.
The first thing I'm grabbing is one of the sais and the pair of nunchucks. I'm gonna trim them up as I need to and start getting them hot in the forge. I'm gonna choose the sai and the grapple hook just because I know I can cut those down, put them in a canister, fill it with powder, and I'll be off and running.
Canister was probably going to be the quickest way to get to the blade that they want. The first thing that I see that I want to use is the throwing stars. They're flat, they're easy to cut up. Then I see the side that I know is straight, be easy to clean up, put in the canister.
All right, guys, you have 1 hour before your critique.
I finally got this can open, and I'm like ecstatic that I could go to the next step. And then I still have to make it sandmai, press it out, and then shape it into some sort of knife. I got these 3 pieces of steel welded up. Gotta do it. I'm gonna press them all together so all 3 pieces weld into one solid billet. It's not going as I imagined. It's not sticking.
Ow.
Oh.
That don't look good.
It's not sticking. At this point, I know I'm not gonna be able to make a sandmai billet.
It looks like Anthony's going to abandon that sandmai, which is a really smart idea.
My design is to make 2 oblong holes, and then I want to incorporate some round holes. That'll give it a little bit of flair. It'll also take off some more weight.
I have never made a skeletonized blade. I'm just doing my best to make it as close to the example with putting my own little spin on it.
I typically make hunters and buoys. So I'm drawing a 13-inch blade with kind of an upswept tip and a little bit of a sway back in the design just for a little bit of design flair.
All right, Jason going for a skeletonizing with the angle grinder too.
I get the second slot cut and drill out the corners of those holes and get them rounded out. That way I don't have to worry about a stress crack. I'm ready to start getting everything shaped out.
All right, guys, you've got 30 minutes left on the clock.
When the blade's this thin and it has 1 piece of sandmai on the other side, pulling it after you quench it, and you're kind of destined for a warp.
All right, Anthony's quenched.
I don't want to quench when the blade is bright yellow. I want to avoid fireballs at all costs because I need this beard. It's part of me.
Jason just quenched.
But he does not have a straightening jig set up. He's just going straight over to the vise.
The knife looks fantastic.
I pull it out of the oil. It's got a slight warp to it, so I have to go in for a second quench.
What happens when you do a lot of quenches is you start growing your grain size, and it just gets a little worse every time.
The warp is somehow gotten worse.
If it doesn't work the first time, chances are it won't work the second or the third.
I really, really, really don't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to go in for a third quench. I come out the 3rd time. It is full-on banana, and I've got to go back in for a 4th because I got to get a straight blade.
Oh. Back in the fire for Brett.
Whoa.
What
did he do? He's got 2.5 minutes.
And whatever happens on this one happens. I am absolutely terrified that I'm going home.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put down your tools. This round is over. All right, bladesmiths, in the first 3 hours of this competition, you guys took your throwing stars, your sais, your nunchucks, and turned them into blades. But the time has come for the first critique and elimination. Dave, you're up first. Please present your work.
All right, Dave, I like the profile of it. Looking at your welds, it's good and solid, so I think you did a good job with those welds. Your skeletonization is good looking and also works. This is a nice light blade. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Please present your work.
All right, Jason, cool profile. You're skeletonized. You got this kind of trailing point to it, but there's a couple issues going on. You have a decided warp. And then up here at the tip, you've got a crack. Got plenty of mass here to deal with, which is great. So those 2 items are your big issue.
Brett, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Please present your work.
All right, Brett, let's talk about your blade here. I like the profile that you have going here. You quenched about, what, 4 times?
Yeah.
And that last-minute quench, you had us going over there, but you were able to do that. But what gives me pause is this area where we skeletonized that. Because we test hard here, you should think about giving some kind of support in this area because this is the area where the impact's gonna happen, but good job.
Thank you.
Anthony, you're up next. You ready?
I am.
Please present your work.
All right, Anthony, this is a really light blade, but there's some issues. There's a decided warp. I'm looking at your skeletonization, and I gotta check. Oh, man, you're only at about 5 1/4 inches. You came in short on this parameter.
All right, Anthony, you were able to ultimately turn in a blade, but unfortunately, you did miss the length of the skeletonization we were looking for. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anthony.
Awesome effort, Anthony.
I thought it was 6 inches, but I just measured it too quick because I was running out of time, but it's all good. Even though I'm going home, I was able to turn in a functional blade as a lesson to my kids, never give up and do what you love.
Well, Brett, Jason, congratulations. It is now down to the two of you guys battling it out for the title of Forge and Fire Champion and a check for $10,000. In keeping up with the ninja theme, we're gonna have you guys go back to your home forges and build a historic Japanese weapon. We want you to build this. The Ninjato sword.
The Ninjato sword traces its roots back to 15th century Japan. This short, single-edged blade was lightweight and easily concealable, making it a weapon of choice for stealthy ninjas to covertly assassinate a target behind enemy lines. This iconic sword of the Shadow Warriors can still be seen today wielded by Scorpion in the 2021 movie Mortal Kombat.
So guys, good luck. We'll see you in 4 days.
Let's go.
My name is Jason Floyd. I'm from Amarillo, Texas. My friends would probably describe me as pretty soft-spoken, really hardworking, and really family dedicated. I'm here to forge some steel. All right, all right. So I'm stretching this billet out, trying to move as fast as I can. I've got this little sword where I want it. Now it's time to quench. This is kind of the moment of truth. The worst case scenario, the blade snaps and I can't fix it and I'm starting over. Okay, we ready? So I'm coming out of the quench, but I see a huge bend in the blade. I'm thinking, crap, I'm not gonna get this thing out of here. If I let the hammer up off of this thing and it's still got a big bend in it, I'm gonna have to quench again. Oh yeah. I think I got it straightened out in time. It's got a little bitty bend to it, tiny. Could have been a whole lot worse. All reality, I'm really pretty pleased with where I'm at. We're gonna polish up the copper hibaki and do a patina on the guard. I kind of like the antique-ish look. Everything looks really good with it, so we're gonna go with it just like it is and get ready to test this thing. I am finished. I'm relieved.
My name is Brett South. I'm 40 years old, and I've been blacksmithing for about 5 years. I am a full-time police officer. I don't really use a whole lot of bladesmithing in my line of work, but I have made knives for everybody on my shift. It's a good break from my day job.
Pressing down and my welds fail, I've just got to get something made so that I can move on with this build. Started over with some low-layer Damascus. I'm going to use some blue dye on the blade, and then I'll use my calipers to mark out exactly where I want my bevels to start. Thinking I may go ahead and heat treat. I'm nervous about quenching and the fact that I've never quenched anything this long. We'll see what happens, fingers crossed. I don't hear anything, no pings, no tings, no nothing. Everything looks good, came out perfectly straight, and tomorrow it'll be a sword. I'm not exactly sure what a traditional handle wrap is, so I'm gonna go with one that I think I can pull off and hope for the best. Done. I am excited about the sword. It was fun to build and it was a challenge, and I'm glad the challenge is over.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. It's time to find out how lethal your weapons are. To find it out, I'll deliver some lethal blows on this big carcass. Brett, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. All right, Brett, let's talk about your Ninjato sword. I like the weight that you have with your weapon. With stealth movements, you need something that makes you fast when you're moving around with that. I like the wrap that you have there. I appreciate the stingray, but it's a little bit on the girthier side. I appreciate the Damascus pattern with that deeper etch, and every cut was deep. And overall, sir, little keel.
Thank you.
Jason, your turn. So you ready?
Yes, sir. Get her done.
All right, Jason, let's talk about your Ninjato sword here. First up, the handle construction. It is also on the girthier side, but the wrap that you have here is smooth. There are no hot points. At the same time, it's easy to control and hold. Now, I appreciate all those layers that you have there. Now your edge and tip, razor sharp. Very deep cuts on every stab on this pig carcass. Overall, sir, your Ninjato sword, it will kill.
Thank you.
Next up, the strength test. Ben?
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test, the bamboo forest chop. Remember, this test is all about what happens to your swords and not what happens to bamboo. Brett, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir. Bamboo is one of the tests that I was afraid they were going to do because it can just wreak all kind of havoc on your blade, and here it is.
Hi, Brett. The edge is just like when you handed it to me. The blade is still straight. The fit up to the habaki here is not quite perfect. There's a big old step down here, and these really should be in line with the habaki top and bottom. Your handle is big, but it's comfortable, easy to hold on to, so nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, you're up. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
Very nice.
Hi, Jason. Your edge is untouched by the bamboo, as is the straightness of your sword. It's still dead straight. Habaki fit up is mostly there. It's just a little bit of a shoulder at the top. Your handle, subtly oversized, but comfortable enough to swing. All in all, nice job.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the sharpness test. The banner slice. To find out how sharp your swords are, I'm gonna cut through this banner. Brett, you're up. You ready for this?
Ready.
All right, Brett, first up, love the balance. It is easy to wield, feels good in the hand. The edge is like hot knife through butter. Overall, sir, you will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, Jason, it's a very light, stealthy weapon. It's easy to handle, and it slices nicely. Overall, sir, it will cut.
Thank you, sir.
Well, guys, from where I stand, it looks pretty close, but I don't make decisions, the judges do, and they need a moment. So, gentlemen, I'm gonna ask that you please step off the forge floor and give us a minute. Guys, from where I stand, this looks about as close as it gets, but you guys do have a decision to make. So, Doug, what do you think?
Both weapons are executed beautifully. They're both deadly. When it comes to the handle, though, they're both girthy handles, but I'll have to give that to Brett because I like the craftsmanship of the Stingray and the wrap.
Ben, what about you?
Jason's blade, the fit up of the habaki is pretty much in line, whereas Brett's is a huge step between the habaki and the blade.
Dave, where do you stand?
Jason's blade, the pattern that he's got going down that blade, the profile, the entire blade just has that vibe. So Brett's blade, he's got a nice pattern on there, but if you look at it, you can see a lot of sanding and file marks.
Dave, you made a decision?
Yeah.
Ben?
Yes, I am.
How about you, Doug?
Yes.
All right, guys, we'll call him in.
They're getting ready to announce the Forge and Fire champion. My freaking stomach is in my throat.
All right, guys, the judges have made a decision. Today's Forge and Fire champion is Jason. Congratulations. Well, Brett, I want to say thank you for letting us watch you work, but unfortunately, your time in this competition has ended. I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Good job, Brett.
It came down to just losing to a better smith. So no regrets, made it farther than I thought I would. When I go home, the first thing I'm probably gonna do is kiss my wife and daughter and then probably take a nap.
Jason, you just won $10,000 and the title of Forged and Fire champion.
I'm a canister waiting to go off, man. Man, I just won Forged and Fire. Thank you all a bunch. I had a blast. Coming from round one, having a massive failure.
Up here at the tip, you've got a crack.
Being able to fight back and make it all the way, it's been a hell of a journey. I'd do it again in a minute. I can't believe I'm actually the Forged and Fire champion.